Welcome into another edition, the first November edition of The Butcher versus the Dance Instructor, presented by LB's Meat Market. I'm Neil McCready. Greg Jones of LB's Meat Market is with us. Caroline McCready of Legacy Arts Dance Studio is with us. So we're going to get into some picks in a minute. First, it's getting close to the holidays. Got a big weekend in Oxford this weekend with LSU. Headed, not LSU, good God, Texas A&M headed to town. I was thinking about LSU because I was just talking to someone about LSU a minute ago. Texas A&M coming to town for a huge game, the biggest game in Oxford since LSU, and maybe one of the biggest games for Lane Kiffin and the Ole Miss program in years, a big game. So we'll talk about that, talk about a lot of things, but first, I want to tell you about LB's Meat Market. LB's 2008 University Avenue in Oxford. It's right across the street from Kroger. Don't go to Kroger. Go to LB's. Let Kroger be your landmark. Get over to LB's. You will be so glad you did. It's the freshest cuts. They got the best. They got the best meat that you're looking for, whether it's beef, pork, chicken, got fish. Greg's going to tell us in a minute about all the sausage he's been making. They make house-made sausage. It's so incredibly good there at LB's. Tons of different varieties, whatever kind of sausage you like. I like the ribeye sausage, the spicy ribeye, the chicken jalapeno. I got some of the chicken jalapeno the other day out of the freezer. I let it thaw. It's my favorite. It's one of Carson's favorite. Laura prefers, my wife, Caroline's mom, prefers the ribeye sausage to the chicken sausage. But if you like pork sausage, they got the Swayze sausage. They got all sorts of stuff. They always have new things. So whatever is your preference, odds are LB's has one of the sausages that's just for you. So it's okay if you don't like the same one that somebody else likes. Try something new. It's all good. They're at LB's. Don't forget, as I just mentioned, when you walk in on the left, they've got the frozen section. The other day I was there and they were slammed, and I wasn't even going to mess with people. I got some strips out of the frozen section. I wasn't in a hurry. It was like, I don't know, noon. We weren't going to obviously grill until 7. I just got them out of the frozen section, put them in the fridge, and then at about 5 o'clock, I put them in some water. So they were still sealed. They thawed out in, I don't know, 35, 40 minutes. Perfectly good, tasted as if they were never frozen at all. That's plenty of that stuff at LB's as well, and you'll save a little bit when you get out of there. They also have the stuffed jalapenos, the stuffed mushrooms, the bacon-wrapped asparagus, lunches on Thursday and Friday, I think, Greg. So
Yep.
so much at LB's. So make sure that you check that out. And when you do, tell Greg and the great staff there at LB's how much you appreciate them sponsoring not only this show, but being a partner of ours at MPW for 8-9 years. They've been awesome. So big part of what we do. It always makes me feel good, Greg. No joke. When I walked in last Friday, it was I guess before the Vanderbilt game, but obviously the Vanderbilt game didn't have the excitement that this game kind of has. And LB's was slammed. Your people were they were on the treadmill, man. They were running.
Oh yeah.
They were moving.
Oh,
So
I bet my mom was right in the middle of it too.
she was busy. Someone had come in and they had ordered, which I guess we'll go ahead and knock this out now because I think people want to hear this. Someone had ordered I think they were having a birthday party combined with something. I don't know, but they'd ordered a ton of steaks and a ton of the stuffed potatoes. And then they'd ordered, I don't know how many dozen of the jalapeno peppers and an assortment of mushrooms. She was getting that together at the same time that somebody was coming in who had not ordered, which is perfectly good too. You don't have to order ahead of time. They'd come in and they were getting together a pretty big order. So yeah, she was on the wheel.
My mom gets really excited about those orders. She's like, I've got 12 jalapenos at 2 o'clock, and I've got 14 stuffed mushrooms at 3 o'clock. So she definitely loves to let people know about her orders. But no, it's just good. It helps us, especially on a weekend like this. I mean, if the midnight yell is at Lamar Lounge, there's no telling how many people from Texas are going to be here. So yeah, it helps us with inventory. Plus, it just helps know that you get the product that you want. Because there's a lot of people that come in and they see the jalapeno poppers and there's only like 6 or 7. They're like, man, I really wanted 12. So that's what helps us too, because that way you always get your product that you come in. But yeah, I just got done. Let's see, I did boudin, Swayze, ribeye sausage, spicy Hawaiian sausage. I did a new smoked pork sausage with jalapeno and cheese, like fresh jalapenos and that high temperature cheese. We're gonna get fresh fish next tomorrow. So yeah, tomorrow's Thursday. It helps me to do this podcast on Wednesday because I know what day it is. So it helps me prepare for the week. So yeah, no, just ready for a big weekend. Hopefully the Rebs can win. I'll take 2-0 at this point. I'll take any sort of win would be good for this weekend.
How can people place those orders when they call you?
Yeah, just call the store. I've got Instagram. LB's Meat Market Oxford is the Instagram. The store number is 662-259-2999. The phone's ringing right now, so I guess I should just start saying the number more. Maybe the phone will ring more every time I say the number. But no, it just helps us with inventory. And like I said, we want you to walk out of here with what the things that you want. So my sister just made that. She pulled some chicken jalapeno out, and she makes chicken rotel with her chicken jalapeno. So it's a really good dip to put in the crock pot.
You've mentioned that before. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that at some point during the holidays.
And it makes a really good chicken chili also.
Oh, you still have the chili meat.
Oh yeah. So that was another thing. The chili meat is a medium plate, so it's a little bit chunkier in your chili. So I've got chili meat and I've got the Wagyu out of the round this weekend. So that way, and also I've got some chuck roast. I'm going to just cube it up into little 1.5-pound packs. A lot of people don't know that you can just saute some chuck roast that are cubed up, and that makes really good chili with that real fatty, beefy content.
Caroline, what's going on with you in Fayetteville? I know you just finished your big Spanish paper that you've been dreading. You got it done. Yeah, you're already turned the page to you've gone from Halloween, which was we're taping this on November the 1st. You went from Halloween to Christmas already. Go ahead and show the people your tree in your room.
Yeah, I kind of skip Halloween, to be honest.
Wow.
But here's my Christmas tree.
Oh wow, it's pink.
And then look, I have those little trees up there.
Yeah.
And then I have little reindeer. Yeah. I love Christmas. So I put that up last night. I pretended it was already November.
That's probably a harbinger of something to come my way here in the next week or so, Greg, is at some point someone who's related to both Caroline and I is going to say, hey, do you mind going up into the attic, which is code for I need you to go up into the attic. And we'll be getting
Christmas. I had 4 older sisters. I know those codes for sure.
Yeah, it's almost Christmas decorating time in the McCready house, that's for sure. All right, guys, let's jump into some games. Got 10 games on the slate this week, so I got some big games. I gave you guys a light slate last week. You both handled it very well. Greg, you went 4-3. Caroline, you went 5-2. Caroline continues to win. It's really it's turning into a major national story here.
I took the hint whenever you were asking me the head coaches, and I was like, because it was 8 a.m, and I was like, let me get on YouTube. And
see what this is about.
Y'all were like, let's text Caroline.
Yeah, because if we do Neil's picks at rebelgrove.com, it's me and Chase Parham and Jeffrey Wright and Brian Rippey and Michael Luker. And Caroline would be running away with Neil's picks. She would be just in a massive lead. Only Jeffrey would even be in the ballpark, and he would be far behind. Greg, you would be in great shape on Neil's picks. You'd be kind of right where I am. 2 games over 500, 46-44. Caroline's 54-36, so she brings an 8-game lead into this weekend's slate of games. So we'll go ahead and get started, guys. We'll get started with the one that is the big one here in Oxford. It's one of 4 11 a.m. games involving SEC teams. It's Texas A&M headed to Oxford to play Ole Miss. The Rebels ranked 11th in the country this week. This game at 11 a.m. on ESPN. Caroline, you won the week, so you get to go first. Those are the rules. Texas A&M's a 4-point underdog. That's the number that we're using. Texas A&M +4 at Ole Miss.
I'm going to go with Ole Miss. I despise Texas A&M. And Ole Miss can beat them by 4 points. So.
Okay. Greg, she's going to take the Rebels, lay the 4 points. I'm going to guess you will too. This is going to be I think this is a close game.
You know what's good? She sounds like she knows what she's talking about. Not only like is her record, like she literally sounds like, it's just like I had a guy tell me, she goes, man, she knows I was like, well, she produced this show for 2 years, it definitely helps. So yeah, I like Ole Miss. I just, I know the talent level that at Texas A&M has is top 5, but obviously they're not there yet. So I'm going to take Ole Miss to win by 2 touchdowns. I just like taking those little snipes that Kiffin's taking. I think it's great. I mean, I think it's just, I love it. I love these little snipes.
He has thrown a just colossal amount of shade at Jimbo Fisher this week, to the point that it's been hilarious. It's been one of his best weeks of press conferences. Yeah, and so for people that don't know, we was on Oxford Exxon podcast. We were talking about Caroline's week, and Chase said, how many coaches in the SEC do you think she could name? And I was like, I don't know. He goes, could she name more than 2, referring to Lane Kiffin and Sam Pittman?
I can name 4.
All right, who are the 4 you can name?
Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss.
Yeah, right.
Sam Pittman, Arkansas.
Sure.
Hugh Freeze, Auburn. And Nick Saban, Alabama. That's all I know.
You don't know another one?
No.
We just named one.
Yeah, could you?
Jimbo, whatever. Texas A&M.
Jimbo Fisher, yeah.
So that was almost like there's an episode where they were like, hey, I'll give you $1,000 if you can name an Indiana Fever basketball player. And they had like posters like right up there. And they were like, man, I don't know. And they were like, just look up right there. And they were like, oh, man, it's just like.
All right, Greg will stay sort of in the SEC. Connecticut, the Huskies, they head to Knoxville, Tennessee to face the 19th ranked Volunteers. This game also at 11 a.m. on the SEC network. Connecticut, Greg, is getting 34 points.
Whew. We'll have to drink the bottle of vodka. Well, no, I'm saving the vodka for the Auburn Mississippi State game, that's for sure. No, I would say Tennessee blows out bad team. So yeah, we'll take Tennessee to cover.
All right, Caroline, he's going to take the balls and lay 34 points against UConn.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tennessee. That's a lot of points, but I'm gonna go with Tennessee.
I think you're safe. All right, Carolina, game that a lot of people in your neck of the woods will be watching at 11 o'clock on Saturday. It's Arkansas off their open date. They head to Florida to play the Gators, coming off a big loss to Georgia. Like I said, 11 a.m., this game on ESPN2. Arkansas, Carolina, is a 6-point underdog on the road.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Florida.
Wow. Yeah.
I do think Arkansas, they're probably improving. They had a week off.
New offensive coordinator.
Yes, I'm going to hope next week Auburn will be good. I'm hoping. But this week I'm going to go with Florida.
Interesting.
I'm going to pull out the not so fast. Fast.
All right, Greg.
I like Arkansas in the new look and coming off a bye week. Why not?
Hey, interesting little stat here. Arkansas and Florida have given up the exact same amount of points this year. So it's all about Arkansas's offense. Can you get any offense going? If you can, you got a shot. If you can't,
who's the offensive coordinator? Is it they hire within?
Yeah, they promoted the wide receivers coach, who was one of the more popular coaches on the staff. So sometimes kids will play hard for the new guy. You get a 1-game bump usually. Like the Raiders just fired their coach, and so a lot of people in Vegas are going, "Hey, watch the Raiders on Sunday because the Raiders might get that interim coach bump that usually lasts 1 week. 1 week is what you get. You get one emotional week. Remember Auburn last year with Carnell Williams? Auburn fired Harsin. They hired Carnell Williams, and there for a week or two, they played this super fired up football, and it happens. It's a real thing. So it's something to watch. Florida coming off an emotional loss. It's an 11 a.m. game. Maybe. We'll see. Speaking of 11 a.m. games, Greg, and one that I have upset alert written all over, Jacksonville State, Rich Rod and the Gamecocks, they head to South Carolina to play the other Gamecocks. This game also 11 a.m. on ESPNU. Jacksonville State, a 16.5-point underdog.
I'm going to have to take Jacksonville State. I mean, why not? I mean, South Carolina's a disaster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, South Carolina last week, Carolina, they looked rough against Texas A&M. They kind of didn't show, but they're giving 16.5 at home to Jacksonville State.
Yeah, I'll go with Jacksonville State if South Carolina looked rough.
So you're saying there's going to be a lot of Gamecocks at that game?
There will be nothing but Gamecocks at that game. It will be a Gamecock palooza.
Oh, man.
All right. SEC East game of the year so far right here. It's Missouri, now ranked 14th in the country. They head to top-ranked Georgia. It's a 2:30 game on CBS. The first part of a national doubleheader on CBS. The Tigers of Missouri, Caroline, are a 17-point underdog in Athens.
I'm gonna take Missouri because I really like them. They're good, and 17 points is a lot.
Okay, interesting. Greg, she's going to take the Tigers in 17.
Do they have a good dance team too?
I know someone that's on their dance team, but I don't think they're like amazing.
Okay. I wonder what makes a good dance team versus like just a average.
Well, it's kind of like how you are like it's like your social media presence matters a lot, how you recruit. Like Ole Miss just brought all these recruits. They got them passes to go on the field. I'm like, that's kind of brilliant, to be honest.
I mean, Slay.
And then like how you, like if they compete, like Arkansas's dance team, I hate to give them some shade, but they do not compete. So they're not really like widely known. Like Ole Miss, they do compete. So a lot of people will come from like California to dance at Ole Miss. People that compete, they'll compete against Ohio State, Minnesota. That's why all those teams are so good, is because they compete nationally and they win.
I think you need to be hired by Arkansas to make the dance team a better.
Well, I did in fact try out for that dance team and I did not make it. So I would not want to coach them.
Okay, well then you need to go to their rival and make them be like, hey, you had your option, literally. I don't know.
You know what you could say at that point? You could say, you could have had this NGL.
You could have had this. Instead, you got a ham sandwich.
NGL, TTYTT.
Yeah.
Right.
You could have had a sleigh. Instead, you get the carriage.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be Slay.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's awesome.
All right, Greg, she's taking the Tigers in 17 at Georgia.
I think this might be too many points. You got to give Missouri a little credit. I mean, they've should have lost multiple times already, but they keep hanging in there. So I'm going to go with the points too. I think, who knows? Maybe Georgia gets softened up for next week, but I think Georgia's going to be pretty mad that they didn't get the number one in the bowl pick. So.
Got number 2 in the college football playoff initial release, which is whatever. All right, a game that I'm going to miss in college football. We're going to turning to a new chapter in college football next year. Texas and Oklahoma are joining the SEC. Most of the Pac-12 is leaving. The Pac-12 is down to 2 teams. Oklahoma State will still be in the Big 12. They'll have a bunch of new friends in the Big 12, but Oklahoma won't be in their conference anymore. I've always wanted to cover this game. No, I don't want to cover it. I want to go to it as a person. I want to go to Oklahoma State. I want to go to Bedlam. I've always wanted to go to Bedlam. One of these days, if they ever have Bedlam again, I'm just going to go. Oklahoma, ranked 10th in the country, coming off that loss to Kansas last week. They head to Stillwater to play Oklahoma State, 2:30, ABC. Got to think Oklahoma State's going to be jacked up for the Sooners. The Sooners giving 7 points, Greg.
I mean, what do they take? They take paddles and beat the side of the student section. Don't they have like a rowdy crew or rowdy crew or something like that?
Something like that.
That would be cool to go to. I think that. I heard Stillwater's probably. I don't know. Have you ever been to Stillwater?
I've never been to Stillwater. I've been to Norman. I've never been to Stillwater. I've heard it's a fun place to go to a game. Norman looks like a fun place to go to a game.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Oklahoma State. I'll take Oklahoma State. I like the home underdog in the last game. I guess. So the rivalry ends after this.
It's not going to get played next year. Maybe at some point they find a way to resume it, but as of now, this is it for Bedlam.
Man, Ole Miss and Vanderbilt ends the rivalry. Oklahoma State. I mean, that's and all these big time rivalries that ended because of all these college.
You Ole Miss people are trying hard to keep that Vanderbilt thing on the schedule. I admire the effort, but it's over. All right, Caroline, he's going to take the Cowboys at home against the Sooners and get 7 points. What do you think?
I'm going to go with Oklahoma.
Oh.
I like them. A lot of Arkansas people they visited Oklahoma too and were conflicted. Yeah. I've never been. I've always wanted to.
You went when you were a little girl for a day, but you don't remember it.
With like Drew and all the cousins.
Yeah, because we have a picture of you on the field. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so you're going to take the Sooners. Greg's going to take the Cowboys. All right, back to the SEC. This is the Grey Goose game of the week. If you've got some I think this is the Grey Goose game of the week. The half bottle of Grey Goose game of the week. It's Auburn coming off its win over Mississippi State. The Tigers go to Nashville to play Vanderbilt. This game at 3 p.m. on the SEC network. Caroline, Auburn is favored by 12.5.
I hate Auburn. I'm gonna go with Vanderbilt.
Wow, just
that. I have room to get some loss, so I literally hate Auburn. Like the when
emotion.
He's like sacrificing pawns here.
Go ahead. When Hugh Freeze is in Fayetteville, what?
Like literally, I just hate Auburn in general. But now like when Liberty played here, I guess last year, I was very into that game. Close. I was so into the Ole Miss game. That was the most I've been into a game here. But last year, Liberty was a close second. So this year, with him being here with Auburn, I'll be quite into it. Like I will be at that game. So I'm not picking Auburn. I'll go with Vanderbilt.
Okay. I get it. 100%. I would love to see the Commodores pull this off. I would be.
I mean, I'm not saying they're going to beat Auburn, but Auburn's not good. Maybe they could be a little bit of a closer game.
All right, Greg, she's going to take the Doors and the 12.5 points against Reverend Freeman.
I'm going to take Vanderbilt too. I'm done with Auburn. I compared them to a 7th grade football team last week. So I mean, they might have gotten 9th grade level last weekend just because they played Mississippi State.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mississippi State is definitely 7th grade level football. They're bad.
Okay, I should know this, but didn't Auburn beat Mississippi State? They did, right?
Yes, they did.
That was their first win?
It was Auburn's first conference win, yes.
Yeah.
It was a pillow fight.
It was. It wasn't a good game. It was.
I think one feather might have came out of the pillow, too.
All right, we'll go to the Pac-12 now. 2 teams that are headed to the Big Ten next year, but this year they're in the Pac-12. Really, it is what it is. Washington heads to USC. This game in Los Angeles. The Huskies ranked 5th in the country. The Trojans ranked 24th. This game's at 6:30 on Saturday night on ABC. Greg, it's your turn. The Huskies are favored by 3 on the road against Caleb Williams and the Trojans.
I think Washington is going to steamroll. I mean, it's not even going to be close. I mean, like you're going to see a team that has literally given up, and USC has given up.
USC lost. Did they lose 2 last week? Or they beat Cal by 1 point late.
Oh yeah, it was like 65-64.
Yeah, something like that. It was a moral loss if there was ever such a thing. All right.
Well, there was a protest on they glued themselves to the field or something.
Yeah, on the field before the game. Something about a teacher.
Probably something really smart.
I'm sure. Well,
something not to play.
No, it was a teacher who lost his job because of allegations about sexual assault or something, and they were defending him. It was like, really, what? Bizarre. And that Cal still almost won. Shows you what, I don't know, shows you a lot. All right, Caroline, he's going to take Washington and just lay the 3 points.
I'm going to agree.
Okay. So far, you guys are like same page on a lot of stuff. All right, another Grey Goose kind of game. It's Kentucky in Starkville this week to face Mississippi State. The Wildcats coming off of a well-played game, but a loss at home to Tennessee. Mississippi State coming off the aforementioned loss at Auburn. This game's at 6:30 on the SEC Network, Caroline. Kentucky is a 3-point favorite at Scott Field.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kentucky.
Says that with just confidence. Greg, she's going to take the Wildcats, lay the 3.
I'd shave my beard if Mississippi State wins this game.
Oh, wow. A beard game.
Yeah.
Slay.
Yeah, right?
Wow. I mean, NGL, I'm impressed.
Nobody says NGL. I don't know where that came from.
What about OMG?
I don't say OMG out loud. I just say, oh my gosh. Texting is different, but it's not like I speak how I text.
I keep seeing NGL and everything, and I'm like, so do y'all say that, or do you?
No, you say not gonna lie.
Not gonna lie,
because it just takes so long to put out. Not gonna lie.
I don't use NGL, so I don't need to defend.
I mean, there was 9 words involved, 9 letters.
I'll hand Caroline my phone and say, hey, can you send a message to somebody, and I need them to say this, and this. And it's like 6 seconds later, she sends it. I'm like, did you say everything? Oh, yeah. But they can't spell out not going to lie. It's NGL.
I spell out not going to lie. I don't think I ever have texted not going to lie to anyone. But I don't say NGL.
NGL.
Yeah.
I like to see what I'm saying. I like to say that a lot.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
I'm like, you know what I mean? That's my thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you could just go YKW.
Campbell says NGL.
Yeah, I've seen her say NGL.
One of my friends said it's going to slay NGL in the same text.
Wow, that's a lot.
Campbell said, okay, NGL. I might just bring it at 7:30. I don't know what we were talking about. She said, I'm NGL. I won't be able to wait to take it.
Sounds like a stock tip.
It does. All right, well, I'm not going to lie. This is the last game we're picking this week, and it's a big one. It's an interesting game. And, hey, look, if you're an Ole Miss fan and you beat Texas A&M on Saturday night, you got to cheer for the Tigers. LSU heads to Alabama. This game's at 6:45 on CBS. The Tigers ranked 13th. The Crimson Tide ranked 8th. Big rivalry game. Has been for a long time. It gets great TV ratings. I don't blame CBS one bit for making this their highlight game. Everybody around the country likes to watch this game. The numbers bear it out. Is what it is. Deal with it. LSU is a 4.5-point underdog, Gregory.
Can I get like 2 wins if I just take the money line? I don't need the points. They're gonna win. They're gonna win by a touchdown.
Wow.
Like alternate line.
Wow.
Because like you get like money, you get extra money back whenever you do the alternate line. So I'm rocking the alternate line.
Greg just flat out telling you that LSU's winning in Bryant-Denny, Carolina.
Yeah, I'll even wear an LSU visor or whatever. I'm here to shave my beard and I'm willing to give my beard up and put on an LSU hat for everything to get for the moon and the stars to get in line for this thing to go.
How about that? All right, Caroline, he's taking LSU and 4.5, flat out saying up front that LSU's going to win straight up.
I'm going to agree with him because one of my best friends goes to LSU. So I hope that they win for her sake.
What's her name?
Madeline Anthony. Remember she
I remember Madeline. Yeah, shout out to Madeline.
Yeah, she went to Arkansas for a year and she transferred. But
yeah. See, I got the best ring angle going. This is a lock.
There you go. You guys are in agreement on a lot. Ole Miss, Tennessee, Jacksonville State, Missouri.
I think it was just Oklahoma that we didn't agree, right?
Yeah, Washington, Kentucky, and LSU. Y'all disagree on Arkansas, Florida. Ironically, with Caroline picking against her team, Greg picking the Hogs. You disagree on Bedlam. Caroline likes the Sooners. Greg likes the Cowboys. And that's it.
I think Oklahoma State's going to have some really cool uniforms for that game.
They usually
do like a cool uniform combo.
They have a good dance team too, don't they? Oklahoma State?
I have no idea, to be honest.
Yeah, can you name the top 5 dance teams in the country right now?
Like Ohio State.
Okay.
It is number 1.
Kentucky's got to be up there.
They're up there in like hip hop. Because these teams will go, like, they don't go home for Christmas break. They stay in their college town, and they have like 2-a-days is what they're called. So you have 2 practices a day. You have 1 in the morning, 1 at night.
You have sidelines.
People don't get dancers.
Sidelines, game day, hip hop.
Bomb squad.
They do all the sports, but then they also have to compete for their own sport, and they'll typically take 3 routines. They'll take a game day routine, which is like you'll do what you do on the sidelines but amped up. And then they do like a jazz, which is more of like a lyrical contemporary, like slower. And then some of them will do pom. Like Ohio State got first in pom, got first in jazz. Minnesota always comes. It's like Minnesota versus Ohio State every year. Tennessee's really good. People go to Tennessee like just to dance. They aren't allowed to join a sorority if you dance.
Well, it's probably because they got good indoor facilities up there.
Mm-hmm. And then there's like Ole Miss has gotten up there. They're still not there yet, but they're good.
We need to up our dance. But our cheerleaders are solid though, right?
I mean, they're both really good.
Okay.
The Rebelettes coach, I love her. She's gotten their program really up there. But so Ohio State, Minnesota.
Ole Miss lacking in the jazz?
Huh?
Is Ole Miss lacking in the jazz department?
They are.
All right,
they got first place.
The jazz was born in Mississippi. So why are we not a good jazz dance team?
But they did get first place in game day. They've been getting like 3rd, 4th, 1st in the game day category. So that's their strength.
Is it still Coach Rachel?
Mm-hmm. And she's the head of the spirit squads too. So she does cheer and dance. So they're all good.
Yeah. Been a big time show, boys and girls.
I love a good cheer, a good dance school update, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very informative.
Oh, and the Breeders' Cup is this weekend. That's like the World Cup of horse racing. My buddy, give a shout out to Jake Vallis, and he had 2 runners at the Breeders' Cup, and he sold one of the 2. He won't tell me what he sold the one of the 2, but I'm pretty sure there's a couple zeros involved. So, but his horse that's running in the turf sprint is Admits Waves. So, so yeah, good luck to Jake and black type thoroughbreds in the Breeders' Cup. It's really cool. I mean, there's a lot of really good races. The Breeders' Cup Classic is the big race. It's like, so the Derby winner, Mage, is not going to run in it, but there's a just Bob Baffert has a horse in there, so it's just a collection of all the best 3- and 4-year-old horses in the world. So it's pretty cool just to watch them really. But yeah, it's pretty. I wanted to go, but I don't know. I can't do Santa Anita in California. I'm out on that.
Yeah, and you got a busy weekend. You got a busy weekend in Oxford.
Yeah, my mom's just popped her head in. She's like, "Your rice is ready," and of course, she's like walked around everybody and made sure everybody tried the rice and make sure it tasted right. So, yeah, I'm gonna get ready with the boudin and get ready for the weekend. Those fillies on Friday have been doing really good. So. I think this weekend on the square it's going to be pretty busy, so you can swing by LB's on Thursday or Friday and get your sandwich and get you some meat. I think that I recommend that.
Yeah, absolutely recommend that. Please make LB's part of your weekend. You will don't just do it for us. Do it for yourself. You will love it. It's fantastic. It makes a huge difference. It'll be a lot of fun. Early game for Ole Miss, 11 a.m. So you got plenty of time after the game once you get out of the Grove or whatnot. If the square's just too jumping for you and you want to do that, go to LB's. What are your hours this weekend, Greg?
So we'll do regular hours on Thursday and Friday. So whenever it's an 11 o'clock game, we do 1 to 6. So basically right after halftime, instead of going to the bar, come to the LB's, instead of getting your wristband to get in the bar later that night, come to LB's, get you, some lane trains. We're going to run. I think we might run on special on the lane trains. I think I'm going to do them 2 for $20, all weekend long. So definitely take advantage of that. I had a person come in the other day. She's like, "Can I get 12?" I'm like, "Sure. That's what that's what we're here for." And she's like, "Can I get them like 3 per pack?" And I was like, "Sure." So that helps us out whenever we know stuff like that. So I told her to call. So she's like, "I want it every 2 weeks. 3 per pack." And so that's stuff like that. So Mama said, "Don't run out of lane trains." So we won't run out of lane trains. That's almost like a saying. I hope that Kiffin sticks around so I can stick to staying. So, but no, we'll have plenty of lane trains. I'm like I said, just got done with the boudin and that new sausage that I'm going to smoke. It's a pork, bacon, cheese, and jalapeno. So I don't think you can't go wrong with any of those.
No, can't go wrong with that. Caroline, what's on your plans this weekend?
I got to start getting stuff together for Kaya for the next marketing person. So that's on my to-do list of the weekend. It'll probably take me all day.
Okay. Well, be careful.
So how are the 3 to 4-year-olds? How are y'all? We got to keep getting an update on them.
They're good. I have them at 3:30 till 5:30. We've had like 3 join, and they're a mess.
The word's getting out.
My patience is doing good. I've decided I brought out some little bells the other day and let them tap on the bells, which I was like, oh my gosh. But it would made them excited. And then we got some coloring sheets for all the holidays printed out for them. Yeah.
See, now you got a little ammunition now, because if they misbehave, you're like, you don't want to mess this up this close to Santa's trip.
I know.
Because if you get on the bad list now, you might not have time to get off the bad list and back onto the good list. That is easy manipulation.
Yeah, I'm going to start.
Maybe limit their bell ringing. Like they only have a certain amount of bells that the times they can press the bell.
Yeah.
And if they go over, that means Santa's not going to come see them.
Oh, an economy of bell rings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a thought.
Yeah. What about any other option other than the bell? Like maybe give them whistles or something.
No, that's bad.
Yeah, no, I'd probably get fired if I was whistling at them. Or if they were whistling, my boss would be like, "Stop."
Yeah, yeah.
Who gave the whistles out?
Yeah, that could go badly.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we will be back next week with another edition of the Butcher versus the Dance Instructor. We'll be getting ready for Ole Miss at Georgia. Caroline will have her much anticipated Hugh Freeze visit to Northwest Arkansas. That'll be coming up. So we'll talk about all of those things and more. Don't forget LB's Meat Market, 2008 University Avenue in Oxford. If you're driving up for the game, be safe. And we'll visit with you again next week. For Greg Jones, for Caroline McCready, I'm Neil McCready. Until next time, take care.